And then we get to two people who are the most perfect for one another on this island.
Annaliese and Chris, the bartender
That
owner?
is the most pathetic guy and the most pathetic girl. You know, this entire thing is so sad. She leans in for a kiss and she's like, oh my God, your heart's racing. You're going to have a heart attack. And he's like, ha.
He's like, you'll do whatever I say, won't you?
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. I'm Dylan, saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick, the producer of the podcast, over there behind the glass.
Hi.
Guys, we've got a crazy episode to get to. Bachelor in Paradise, night 2 on this lovely, lovely island of Mexico. This is a clip show, essentially. I mean, how many clips do we have? Like 33 clips?
We got about 45 clips, I think, tonight.
We have a lot of clips because there are so many crazy, crazy moments. Before we get into the show and the fan favorite segment, general thoughts, of course, do we want to get this Blake and Kaylin shit out of the way at the top and kind of set the scene? Or
I think that's a good idea, Dylan, because, you know, this might go into my general thoughts.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff that happens outside of just watching the TV show that you got to keep up with.
It informs the narrative, the rich narrative that is this terrible reality television show. It's wonderful. But anyways, Nick, you want to get going?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we know, the drama was because Blake fucked Kaylin less than 24 hours after he fucked Christina at Stagecoach.
Right.
Kaylin said she was manipulated, and Blake didn't like how that made his character look. So he went out on the social medias, put a very heartfelt post.
Yeah. Do you mean posting her text messages? Is that what you're talking about?
First, he did like a heartfelt, he was talking to camera saying he didn't want to have to do this, but he must, to defend his character, release the text messages.
How many words he put up? Could you guess?
A lot. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Too many paragraphs.
I would love to read through that fucking dumb manifesto.
TLDR.
Jesus.
But anyways, he released texts from Kaylin that night of Stagecoach.
What a night it was.
She was effectively seducing him. She was like, dude, it's fine. Chill. It'll be good. Come on. Loosen up. Let's just have a good time, man. These sound fake, but these are real text messages from Kaylee. I just ordered an Uber.
You know, I don't...
This is the most damning one. She says, if I'm coming over, it's strictly for sex. Nothing more, nothing less.
All right, I don't know why that's so damning, but this is the thing. Everybody's like, he was trying to say no. He was this is a thing. I mean, you know more about game than I do, but I mean, he's playing a little hard to get. He knows that she's going to come. He wants her to come over and have sex. He's a horrible guy.
Hey, Dylan, sorry. Blake, by you pointing out that she was basically hitting on you and she was horny that night and you're playing this game, what does that say about her character? How does that prove that you aren't a lying piece of shit?
Exactly.
Her accusation is that it was more than just being fuck buddies.
Right.
You guys had a relationship, and that you putting out those texts, you fucking scumbag, doesn't change a goddamn thing.
It just makes him exponentially worse of a man. And I doled out a terrible example last week, but it's like presenting evidence in a case that just makes you even more guilty.
Yes.
You wouldn't do that. That would make no sense.
He's in over his head, essentially. All this new attention we taled about last episode.
And you just showed me the picture of him in high school. I mean, former big boy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bobby Big Boy. I mean, he was a fatty.
He was a fat fatty, and he wasn't used to having girls come after him.
Yeah.
But
he was fat.
I will say the text messages validate him a little bit, because she was definitely wanting it and acting like it was strictly a friends with benefits type situation and not a relationship.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what I read out of that.
We're approaching spending too much time on this. I just want to let you guys know.
And by the way, Dylan, I want to touch on your point. And Nick, you showed us that picture of him being a fat.
Ew,
fatty.
yeah, so fat.
I say he's got ugly duckling syndrome, which is when you thin down a little bit and you get a little attention, you become become a fucking sexual deviant, and that's what's happening here. I'm
Absolutely.
no therapist, but
all right, we're gonna delve into his psychosis a lot throughout the evening. As I said, we've got about 45 clips. We got to move on to a fan favorite segment called General Thoughts. It's where we give our thoughts generally about the episode. I'm gonna start with Nick.
Loved it. There's a lot packed into this 2 hours.
Yeah.
I wish it was one episode a week. We've talked about this ad
talked
nauseum.
about it ad nauseum.
But, I mean, there were multiple storylines. It wasn't dominated by the Blake Kaylin thing completely. There was some other stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, lots of pathetic stuff.
And, they thank God for the punching bags.
Oh, God. Invaluable.
88 knots.
Okay, Pat. Pat.
Oh, okay. Me. All right. I really like the episode. I had my same sentiment with Nick. It's very redundant.
Okay, great. So I like Nick. I agree. The best part about this island are the punching bags. I mean, the end of the evening when the people who are certainly going home have to scramble to try and find somebody. I mean, it's so wonderful to bear witness to. Okay, let's get into the episode, please. Blake takes Tayshia aside before the date.
Damage control.
Yeah.
Before the date with Lipstick Eater, Christina.
And Tayshia was swept off her feet by this gesture. Like, he just comes to tell her, hey, I'm taking another girl out on a date. And she's like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. She loved it.
Right. Yeah, and Clay is like so confused about this. He's like, why is he taking her? He's going on a date with Christina. Clay, learn how to play the game, baby. He's keeping his options open.
Clay does seem very innocent and straight shooter, but it served him well later in the episode.
Clay would be, Clay's a nice guy. He would be such a lame-o in an NFL locker room. Like, everybody would be like, Clay, why are you so fucking lame, man? So anyways, we've got to talk about Derek's quote, saying Blake is the Bachelor of Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah. Very, very accurate early on. I mean, it all goes to shit at the end of it, but
we'll see.
He's going to be around for a while.
Yeah. Let me say this, though. The baby birdies in that Facebook group of ours, they've been chirping away. The sentiment is across the board. Why Blake? No one's attracted to Blake's square head lame pants here. He's not really attractive. I don't know what these ladies are all scrambling around for it, and neither are the baby birdies.
He's got tight skin and a square head. So Aisha comes back and is gushing over this whole Blake thing.
Tayshia.
Who did I say?
Aisha.
Tayshia comes back and is gushing over this whole Blake thing. Kaylin is hearing her talk about this and just sucking back margaritas, just drinking so much.
I had the word gushing written down on my notes, too.
No, you did
Yes,
not.
I did.
Oh,
Yes,
brother,
I did.
I love you. Oh, my gosh, that is so funny. I can't read right now because I'm trying to move us along.
And there's a lot of stuff on that note.
You know, I'll tell you what, Kaylin is so annoying at this point in the episode. Her bouncing around telling people that this is a secret is antithetical to the word secret. I mean, she says, I'm tired of keeping this secret. Kaylin, you've literally told every single person on this fucking island.
No, this is how she's doing it, too. She's like, she walks over in a corner of the beach and she's got some cast member. She's like, hey, cameraman, get over here. Where's the fucking microphone? Where's the guy that holds the thing with the foam thing over there? Get that over me.
Yeah. Get the boom. I don't know if my lav is going to pick this up because I'm going to whisper it because it's a secret. So let's get to the date. Blake grabs Christina's hand and romantically sweeps her off her feet. Pat?
Oh, hi. Yeah. Hi. Yes. All right. Okay.
Let's do it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Grabbing my hand. Hi.
You don't want me to grab your hand?
No.
She just loses all control of her faculties.
I have a different take. I think she is a little, she's a little nervous, but I don't think that she's like giddy over him. I think that she hates him. Are you saying that she's trying to like drag him along? Like she doesn't want him to know that she's going to unload on him. So she's kind of playing it up a little bit.
I wasn't saying that.
Oh, okay.
I think she is immediately giddy, but she knows what she's trying to do. She's got her eye on the prize. She wants to make him feel like shit on this day, but eventually she will succumb.
Oh, I don't think so. All right, so they get in a rhino and they ride up the mountain very fast. Everyone knows all-terrain vehicles are extremely, extremely dangerous, and I just thought they were going way too fast. I think somebody should have flagged them down and said, Christina, you got to take it easy.
Maybe what she was doing was in the movie Vanilla Sky.
Yes.
Do you remember that famous scene with Tom Cruise?
With the masks and the beating off.
No, I was going to say when he actually gets in the car.
Yeah. That's Eyes Wide Shut.
No.
With Cameron Diaz. And like he thinks that they're just like sleeping together and having a good time. And as they get in the car, she's driving it. She hits the gas and says, do you know, I sucked your dick last night.
Right.
Do you know how important that is to a woman to have a penis in a mouth?
Yeah.
And then she drives off a fucking cliff
right.
and ruins his face. And that's what the whole movie's about, I think.
And he gets the mask.
What I'm saying is what's happening here with Christina
that is Cameron Diaz.
in that buggy is that's exactly what's happening here.
Okay, I think you're taking liberties with the word exactly, but they, safely arrive to where they're going. And I was worried.
Against all odds.
Against all odds. I'm surprised that bridge didn't snap in half.
That was terrifying.
It's just all so dangerous. But they sit down. I was worried that she was going to succumb very early on. I thought she was going to completely forgive him. But she proceeds to slaughter him. And she is my favorite person. I mean, she absolutely digs a knife into him.
I understand that, Dylan, but I'm still unclear what the nature of their relationship was. Okay, they don't actually lay that out for us. I don't know if was that intentionally ambiguous.
I think Kaylin has more reason to be upset because Blake kind of told her, "Don't say anything about this. Keep your mouth shut about this." Christina is just upset that he did a gross thing, and she had. I don't think there's anything more than he had sex with her and then had sex with Kaylin, 20 hours later, and she was upset about it. I think that's it.
No, Christina and Blake 100% actually dated for a couple months. But then they broke it off, but then they continued to bang every once in a while. Christina said it twice on this episode. She was like, and then we became friends, and then sometimes more than friends. And she laughed at her own joke, like thinking it was hilarious. She used it twice. I almost wanted to pull the clip, but that would have put us at 11.
Yeah.
But, so they definitely dated, became friends, but then she's susceptible and he would bang her whenever he pleased.
So then I would argue, and I'm not defending this piece of shit because I don't like Blake at all. He's a scumbag, and I don't like guys that are less good looking than me getting this much ass. All right, but let me get to my point. So then she's just mad because he banged back to back. He banged back to back. That's what she's pissed off. That's why she's got to take him out on the date and settle her hash with him.
Yeah.
That's really stupid. Hey, how about you got a bad picker there, lipstick eater? Look at all these douchebags you're dating. Deanie Baby, this guy, I think someone else on the show. I got an idea for you. Date a coworker. You like clean people's teeth or something like that. You'll find a nice guy there. Date an accountant.
Yeah, I mean, every time he's backed into a corner, it's really, really pathetic to listen to. He's like, all right, I'm just going to tell you what happened, okay? Like, I'm just going to come clean about it. And then he proceeds to, like, slip in these, like, selfish, like, concerned about me sentences in his defense. It's all really, really fucked up. And the crux of the issue is, the reason why he's drowning alive is if you're gonna do this, just own it. You'll seem like a douchebag, but you won't come off as this duplicitous, like weird, unconfident bitch. Like he comes off so horrible.
I thought in this moment he did kind of do that. He was like, me and Kaylin were both adults. We weren't dating. And he I thought what made him seem unlikable in this instance is how he lacked empathy for Christina. He wouldn't understand her point when he was saying, yeah, we had sex, we're adults. I thought he should have been more empathetic. Like he kind of did own it, and I thought that's what made him look like a jerk.
But he hasn't owned it this entire time. He's been super weird about it, and later he goes up to Kayla and he's like, hey, I haven't had the chance to talk to you yet. What are you fucking talking about? You've been on a beach for 48 hours. You haven't had the chance?
He should have done that sooner. And let me say this. I don't know who he's talking to, but he basically tells someone that lipstick eater tried to ruin his stay in paradise. I don't know who he said that to, but it was kind of like, oh, wow, you're kind of a jerk.
At the end of all of this, the grossest thing is that he cannot believe that she's doing this to him. He says it numerous times. He's like, I can't believe you're doing this. This is so ridiculous. I can't believe you're doing this to me.
You ambushed me.
You ambushed me. Yeah. You fucked both of them in 24 hours. You're free to do it, but it's not a good look. Don't pretend like it didn't happen. All right, Kaylin back at the island is talking more about the same thing to the same people. Please shut the fuck up. And then Christina and Blake get back. More psychotic behavior is what I was just talking to. When he gets back, he goes straight to Kaylin, and he's like, hey, we haven't gotten a chance to talk yet. Psycho. He starts off by, yes.
Kaylin actually told him, we need to talk. And he tried to act all upbeat about it. He was like, oh, yeah, we haven't even...
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to end up in E&O.
I rewound and I put subtitles on for this part because she was like, we need to talk. And it was kind of stern the way she pulled him over. And he tried to act like, oh, nothing's wrong. Like, oh, my God, we haven't talked yet.
Yeah. Kaylin, how are you?
Kaylin, so happy to see you.
Kaylin, what is going on? So she kind of unloads, kind of vomits emotion out onto his lap, and he's not very good at handling that.
So sorry, I didn't know, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Now, it's a wrong medium because you're just hearing the audio here.
Yes.
But his gestures look so fake.
Cartoonish.
Oh my... Again, I'm not helping.
No. It looks like Japanese animation. He looks like fucking Speed Racer. Oh my God.
I was just going to say he looks like really...
Look at you two tonight.
I was going to say he looks like bad animation, just like skipping frames. Like his face just moves like
yeah, it's like a Popeyes cartoon.
It's insane, and this is the beginning of a vicious meltdown from Blake.
Oh my God.
Holzenbacher. What's his last name? I
Who
forgot
cares?
it.
It's crazy because when Kaylin seems like the sane person, and she's clearly not sane. I mean, she's fucking nuts. But you're really, you've flown over the fucking cuckoo's nest. I mean, Blake is a nutbag.
Well, this is one of those things, and I forget what the phrase is, but both things can be wrong or right at the same time. Both these people can be horrible people and misconstrue what the nature of the relationship was at the same time. And we are allowed to think both of them are pieces of shit.
I do think that they're both misconstruing it. I just think that he's like trying to hide it, whereas she's dramatizing it. And I think trying to hide it's worse.
Yeah.
And then also acting like just an icky. Yuck. This is what happens, though, when you don't pay the piper. When you put off paying the piper, it just compounds. It gets worse and worse and worse. You got to face it dead on and just take care of it. Don't act like a coward.
I know the listeners are probably going to, Pat, you said this already. But, Blake, you don't have experience in having this much pussy thrown at you. So, therefore, you abuse your privileges, but you are not emotionally prepared to handle the scope of your enjoyment in this world, and then you hurt people. You're a scumbag.
It's Icarus. It's a tale as old as time.
The Russians?
The Greeks. His wings are melting off. He flew too close to the sun.
It's classic.
Exactly.
Classic stuff.
Icarus.
Exactly.
So the girls are all kind of communally agreeing that he's a scumbag, and they're talking about how horrible he is, and then it cuts to Hannah, and you can see those dumb, slow-moving cogs in her head, and she's like, well, I think I'm fine with it.
Yeah. She's fine with it.
She's so fine with it.
Elf on a shelf.
But it's weird, though, because I do think that she's repulsed by him at the end of the episode, but we'll get there.
So, lipstick eater, Christina, who I love, but as I mentioned on the last episode, I've lost respect for her. I don't know why she's back here. I think she should have been the Bachelorette. Anyway, she pulls Tayshia aside.
Yeah.
She's doing the same thing that Kayla is doing now, which is she basically tells Tayshia that, hey, I banged him, and then Kaylin tagged him the next day. So he's kind of a scumbag. And then Tayshia's reaction is like, well, I'm over this fucking shit.
I love that attitude from her. Like, she was the one finally laying the law down. Everybody else is kind of wishy-washy, like giving him a chance. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go out on a date with him still. Tayshia was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Which is surprising from someone who's already went through a divorce. It seemed like you'd also be a...
No, Tayshia's solid, except for what she did when she was on Colton's season of The Bachelor.
I forgot what she did. What did she do towards the end of the season?
I don't remember, but it was naughty.
It pissed us off. Her tip
wasn't
fell out.
good.
That wasn't it. That was dope.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like we said, no girls are into him save the skeleton fairy who likes liars.
Hey. Wells, the bartender, relationship dispenser.
Guru.
I don't like how this motherfucker likes to pile on. As much as I hate someone, I don't like someone piling on a little bit when they don't really have... Wells is a scumbag. He does a poll. Everyone raise your hand. Who hates Blake right now? Or who thinks he's a womanizer or a scumbag? Didn't he do this during the episode?
Yeah.
What he said was who's after Blake. Like, he was thinking like all the girls were going to raise their hand, but they were all acting like
Steel trap, man. I'm telling you.
No, wow. I watched this episode. We all watched it together, and then I watched it on 2x speed, but meticulously pausing and taking notes. I am stacked. They all go for not because I don't know my notes well enough.
Right,
so.
right. All right, so let's get to the next day. We'll get to Blake crying later because he does it way better, but a second time.
Next morning!
Blake looks like absolute shit.
I missed that.
Oh, boy.
He looks like absolute fucking shit. Dylan and Hannah continue to have these like unbelievably deep, rich conversations. Yeah, he's like, you're so cool. You weigh like 80 pounds. But then we've got to get to Wills, who's has this bright idea. He's gonna toss his vocal fry around and try to bag Hannah, who he refers to as a very dope girl.
Wills has vocal fry?
Oh, yeah. It's deep, but...
Big time. All right, so her and Wills kiss, they smooch, they canoodle, whatever.
He gives the wackest game ever, and
it's horrible.
And after they're done kissing, she was like, "Oh, that was so smooth." No, it wasn't. You're an idiot, and he sucks.
Yeah, she's Lauren B's cousin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, she's here.
It's okay.
Lauren, Dylan's making funny. What do you say?
Hannah. It's supposed to be Hannah. Okay, so,
I didn't know she was that witty.
I know, and she's got a foul mouth on her too. So Dylan gets back. This is super, super awkward. Pat, why don't you go ahead and hit us with a clip?
I was just saying, like, I wanted to spend more time with you, so if I can pull you away, we're gonna do
And
that.
you did it.
And I did it. I hate interrupting people.
Yeah,
But
But what?
But she were into you, so
Yeah?
yeah.
This is another case of wrong medium for these clips. These guys have the weirdest, creepiest facial expressions there are. He makes me uncomfortable. And when your default move is little spoon, I just can't respect you as a man.
No.
Quit nuzzling your head into her bosom.
Stop nuzzling. You look like a baby orangutan. It's this fucking weird. Like he's like in 6th grade or something. It is so bizarre.
I have another take on this. This is, and look, I know I'm the old guy here, and you guys are a little
Very
younger
old,
than me.
yeah.
But when I've watched The Bachelor for 20 years now, and I've seen it devolve into a bunch of puss bags.
Beautiful, yeah.
This is the result of a lot of young males playing video games,
Okay,
and then
Patrick.
having a little porn, and not being able to actually deal with ladies and like be a fucking man. They're all weirded out, and he's a complete puss bag, and I assume he's pretty good at Fortnite.
Yeah, no, he's like almost an incel, like almost. But anyway, she drops this Wills thing, and if you're hinting that he's not very emotionally prepared to handle things, this is Exhibit A. I mean, he is just like he's just rattled by it. He can't handle it.
Because any man would step up and be like, that's not okay. Like, are we doing this or are we not? He backs down. He doesn't know how to handle it. That's the confusion going on. He's like, do I ruin this right now, what I have with her?
Yeah, and they keep talking about chemistry, like the chemistry they have with each other. What chemistry are you guys talking about?
It's zero.
All right, so let's move on to Clay. Annaliese is, I think she is the most pathetic person that's ever been on this franchise.
That's why they keep her here.
I don't think that anyone can take that mantle away from her with the acting reels, the phobias, the aesthetic character. And she's a barnacle of a human being.
A nosy cunt. Mhm. Coming around sniffing at other people's business. Who gives a fuck? Be there for yourself. Try and get laid. Try and get engaged. That's why you're supposedly all here. Anyway.
To find love.
Every next thing she does is the most pathetic thing she's ever done.
Yeah, well, let's get to this. Her and Clay having a chat.
Literally crushing her being here, and it breaks my heart. I just don't know how you can even walk onto this beach.
I don't know if you're misinformed, but like we broke up like 3 months ago. We had these discussions.
Like it was like you guys were looking at houses, you were talking about babies, and then
earlier on, yes, we were doing stuff like that.
I heard it was like the day before you broke up that you were like naming your future children.
That's.
And then you just saw her and you were crying to her, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're a little misinformed.
I don't know what the story is there, Nick. Do you have any insight into what's going on between Angela and Clay?
I think they're pretty much cut off, but he probably did a little sweet talking to keep around.
Yeah.
This is all conjecture on my part, but I thought he handled this little exchange like a G. I would have gotten way pissed. I'm like, Annaliese, you are pathetic. Get away from me and stop talking. And he was just like, you don't have the facts. Like,
and she, you know, he may well have been a douchebag to her, but Annaliese is mean to him. She's like, essentially calls him a failure. Says like, you failed in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
it is weird, and he's very, very measured because that's just who he is. I mean, he's lame old boring Clay, but
that's why I said he's handled like a G. That would have been enough to like start yelling at her and been like, ad hominem attacks because of your anger.
Yeah, like if I was Clay, I'd be like, well, that vein coming down your forehead, it looks like a little worm, and it's disgusting. Yeah, I would have said something like that. Okay, so let's get to the night date.
Night date.
Nicole and Clay go to a filthy pop-up carnival with balloons, balloon throwing attractions, and children all over the place. It just doesn't seem like that great of a day to me, but they have a blast.
Here's my problem with this. I would have just skipped over this. For production, I just would have said, they went on a date.
We can skip over it. We don't need to talk about this.
I'm not interested in either of these people.
Absolutely. So quick aside before we move on and away from these two, a lot of crab shots. I mean, a tremendous amount of B-roll of crabs. It's
discussed it.
Unbelievable. Have we discussed it?
Yeah. In past seasons, crab shots are the thing.
Oh, yeah, we have. I mean, it's unbelievable how... There's probably 7 seconds of crab shots every episode.
And John Paul Jones is stoked about it. Last week, he busted away from a conversation with Hannah. He was like, oh, crab.
Hey, can I do a meanwhile?
Absolutely.
The crabs are walking around. Those two other irrelevant people are on a date.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Demi, who I love, that little spinner is so quick-witted and fun. Oh my God, I'd love to sleep with her. Anyway, she's the voice of reason. Did you catch this? I don't know. We don't have a clip, but she's talking to Annaliese.
Yes.
And she's like, girlfriend, get your shit together.
Yeah.
And then they cut to her and she's like, grandma is off her meds.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the savage line. I was like, are you part of this podcast? I mean, that sounds like something that would be written by one of us.
Demi, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Pat specifically would write that.
Demi, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Annaliese, though, why are you crying about this? Are you seriously that emotionally invested in this 3-month relationship that you're crying?
She basically said it to Demi when she was talking to him. She was like, it felt like when I was talking to him, I was talking to every ex-boyfriend I've ever had. Like, hey, you're not. This isn't your situation. You're a psychopath. Right. Guys treat you like shit because you're dumb.
These are nutty
what
broads.
A perfect take.
Well done. Like, hey, nutty broads. Just because some other dude did some wacky shit to you, don't, like held your head when he got a blowjob. Don't put that on me, okay? I'm bringing you out to a nice dinner at Mastro's. We're eating steak. I don't need to hear about your baggage, okay?
And sure. Demi, voice of reason, calling her out every single step of the way. Like, why would you have to do that? Maybe you should just stay in your own lane.
Yeah, she's absolutely wonderful.
Why don't you get one of those meds holders that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you open up the day of the week and then you take
fit all the pills. That's why.
That is true. She is.
They only hold like 5 pills.
She found herself a Dr. Feelgood, and it has really fucked up her chemical
They are
balance.
important people to find in your life if you're at a point in your life where you want to take a good amount of pharmaceuticals. I mean, that's not for everybody,
and if you're not there, fucking grow up.
Yeah. So let's get to the next morning.
Next morning.
Blake is in ruins. He feels like he feels like he's a dirty little secret.
The Scarlet Letter.
He's talking to his bros, and he's like, guys, I just feel like this dirty little secret. God. Let's play a clip.
How did not one of those guys be like, shut the fuck up?
I have a brilliant idea. Why don't you go away and stop talking to us?
Boo-hoo-hoo, you're fucked, everybody here.
Speaking of crying, I love Pat's cry. We've got to get to Blake literally breaking down and weeping on camera. Pat?
I think this is how paradise was gonna go. Family and friends, and like, it's gonna be really hard to see, like, and it's like, really go into hiding.
What?
I know I am. It's gonna be hard on everybody in my life. Because it was like, because of what I did. Like, that's what, like, there's just, like, this is real life. You know, this is television. Like, it's my life. Like, it's over as I know it. Like, my life is gonna completely change, and not for the better.
Pussy. 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 Pussy.
Uh-oh.
Pussy.
God.
Pussy.
You know what time it is, Nikki?
Pussy. Pussy.
DJ Nikki!
Pussy illy, wetter than the M's, I taste the skinny, silly Billy, poppin' Billy, smoke him like it's fish and licked his Philly, mold him, soak him, hook him like crack after shot, mold him, lop a drop, this be outlaw, call me pie.
Pussy. Pussy.
Pussy, got enough playing, right with the damn it.
Okay, time to turn it down now.
What the fuck?
I mean, I think that you did really, really good on that one. I mean, usually
I came
you
in
do-
late, though.
You came in late, but that was partly on Pat.
I blame Pat like almost 100% on
Yeah,
that.
that's like if you were at, I don't know, let's say Preakness. You're in like one of the lanes. Everybody's gates drop except for yours, and then a second later your gate drops. That's what Pat did to you.
Hey, Del, I got one way to rectify it.
No, do not. Pat, don't do it. I'm editing this podcast, so I'm going to
you're
cut
not.
this out.
No, you're not.
Oh my God, I'm cutting it out.
Pussy.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No!
Pussy. Pussy.
DJ Nikki, hit him!
Iggy, pussy illy, wetter than the M's, I taste the skinny, silly Billy, poppin' Billy, smoke him like a fish and lick this Philly, mold him, soak him, hook him like crack after shot, smoke him, lava drop, this should be outlaw, call me pie.
Pussy.
The even sound of playing it, better play your cards right, Mr. Game It. That's the farthest I've ever went.
I mean, aside from Pat fucking you, I think that you got probably like, I would give it like an A-.
All right. I know you guys. With all seriousness, jokes aside, he is a pussback. Did you catch, like, really the intent for him during that little OTF, what he was really doing there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damage control.
Damage control. So he fucked over a lot of girls. He's been plowing through pussy. What does he do? Doesn't feel apologetic at all during this. He's worried about self-perception on him, and because he's obviously like been in on Instagram or something, and all the girls like, oh, you were so great on Becca's season. We love you. She should have picked you. You're such a great guy.
He was the nice guy.
This is the first time he's been made out to be a complete douchebag. And he's struggling with it.
Yeah, and he weeps at, as you heard, openly on camera, and he says he's going to have to go into hiding. Now, at some point, a light bulb went off, and he was like, I'm not going to go into hiding. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to release the texts that don't prove that I'm not a fucking asshole, but will prove that Kaylin was a little cock-thirsty that night. This is survival instinct from a dumbass who doesn't understand how, I don't know, collective consciousness works. So let's get to the announcement of the I don't know, the beginning of the evening's carnage.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a rose ceremony, but then we spend the entire rest of this episode just people trying to, the last minute ditch efforts to hook up.
The word cocktail party was used.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you just call it the cocktail party.
It was a cocktail party.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, this is the best part of Love Island. The people who have no shot just death rattling their way around the island and making out with people who make them nauseous.
Can I say the most egregious?
Yeah, I mean, we all know.
Kaylin going for Cam.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Come on.
We'll get there. Speaking of Cam, as the family man and lover of whores, is making fun of all the guys' shirts. Cam steps up and says his future wife could very well be in this palapa, and then utters this panty-dropping line. If you haven't talked to me yet, this might be your last chance. Are you trying to make everyone hate you? I don't understand what the strategy is.
Can I tell you something about Cam? Physically, he's not a bad-looking guy, right?
Except for that flesh yarmulke.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But, I mean, he's not the worst-looking guy on the island.
No.
It's his horrible game
Yes.
and his uncomfortableness and awkwardness and weirdness and stupid. He's an idiot. If this guy had the game of, say, put clay in his brain, like what's that movie that I always quote that I love where they put white people's
Manchurian Candidate.
Get Out.
Face Off.
Put Clay's brain
Bedazzled.
in Cam's head.
Blast from the Past.
I said Get Out.
So speaking of game, Will's cheers to everyone. You know, Will's the guy with the best game. That's where my segue was. Will's cheers to everyone being here tomorrow. Hey, Will's. Did you not just hear what Chris Harrison said, you fucking idiot? Are your ears not working? It is impossible for everyone to be there. That is the nature of this game.
Not everybody's a leech like you and can find a way to stick around the island without having a partner.
Jesus.
And I know it's not an island.
I'm going to say bad casting. Shame on you, Bachelor producers. I know not everyone's here. Maybe you're saving some of the best for the last. But I'm going to say this. Tayshia, like, you got to get that level. Like, Tayshia's hot.
Right.
She's got game. She's interesting. There's different levels for her.
She's got a pair on her.
Okay. I think we should be done with Wills at this point.
100%.
No more Wills. We don't need any more Wills. We do need a lot more Demi. Because, I think that at this point we all have an idea of who's going to go home, but we know for sure that one person will absolutely be going home.
Oh my god, it's so much pressure.
No, seriously.
I can't. Poor old Jane. I think she's going home.
And she is 100% right. We haven't even seen the next episode, and we are pretty confident that Demi's 100% right.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean, but Jane, I don't know if she's going for this kind of look, but she needs to kind of get the eyebrows under control. The hedges look like, I don't know, like a one-armed man is living inside the house and the lawn's overgrown. It's a bad analogy.
I said she looked like Alanis Morissette with Down syndrome.
Which I found very apt. Very, very apt.
Yeah, and then we also stumbled our way onto Curious George, which is very rude, and this is mean, and she seems like a nice person. Not very crafty, though. You know who is crafty? Demi. That little sprite. She is fucking just stuck to Derek right now. She is a parasite taking over his fucking body and controlling him.
Playing Derek the douche.
Masterful.
Playing him out.
Masterful from Demi. So it's at this point where Blake chats with Tayshia and Kaylin. Do we want anything from this, guys?
He's just groveling. I mean, Blake has gone from being the top of the heap, I guess the Bachelor in Paradise, to now a groveling
pariah.
Dare I say, pussy.
Okay.
Pussy.
We'll figure out just better words as we go throughout the season.
Do you think you have faith in us?
So Kaylin gets done talking to Blake and says that she hasn't been present because Blake has taken that away from her. Which is psychotic talk, and not practicing extreme ownership. She's going to have to make the most out of this experience, which, in her estimation, means beelining it to Cam. Bravo. This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of cringeworthy, nauseating stuff that makes this show so great.
Do they make out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, he is so pathetic. He has some of the best lines ever. He's like, it was really hard for me to sit here and watch you cry from a distance. Well, I don't know how his brain works.
I'm always watching you.
But yeah, they do make out. And she's like, who are you?
No, like literally. What is your name?
May I remind the audience at this point in the episode that 3 girls are going home tonight. So I think Plain Jane and Kaylin, and then of course Bibiana on the chopping block.
Somebody who is not going to go home is Onyeka, because for some reason JPJ and her are an item, and this doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense at all. Speaking of JPJ, we've got a very weak predator who sees him as prey, and she, tries to go over to him and, try to curry favor with him. That's Jane. And this does not work very well at all.
You good?
Are you sure?
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Play it one more time. He sounds like Anchorman when it's hot outside.
You good?
Are you sure?
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Milk was a bad choice.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine. He's so funny.
It sounded heroic. Go on without me. I'm not going to make it.
Nick, we are on fire tonight. I wrote down he bizarrely throws up. I don't know what from, but then he is such a mensch, and it's really heroic the way he behaves.
It's crazy.
This is all spurred on from her deciding to bring him food. And Pat, I know you have certain feelings about this transaction, that being spicy Mexican food in exchange for a promissory kiss that comes immediately after. Not good on Jane's part.
No, that was a poor choice. Mm-hmm.
So she starts crying, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's really sad.
Is it?
Yeah. All right, so then we get to two people who are the most perfect for one another on this island.
Annaliese and Chris, the bartender
That
owner?
is the most pathetic guy and the most pathetic girl. This entire thing is so sad. She leans in for a kiss, and she's like, oh my God, your heart's racing. You're going to have a heart attack. And he's like, ha.
He's like, you'll do whatever I say, won't you?
The saddest part about this entire exchange, though, is that Christina comes in and she's like, hey, Chris, can I talk to you?
I actually think that's the second saddest part about this exchange.
What's the first?
His Yelp rating on the bracket room, his bar in Chicago.
Wow.
I was remiss last time. I didn't even think about it. We saw his bar. Didn't even cross my mind to get a Yelp rating.
Now, Nick, this is your job to be doing this, so apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the baby birds. Luckily for the baby birds,
You're a fucking idiot.
one out there who I didn't write their name down, she found this article that popped up that he's getting a lot of bad press on his bars now that he's on TV. It's a shithole, and it starts with this. It starts with the staff. I brought one of these reviews that are tanking that rating.
Okay.
And we're gonna read it here today.
Is it? Does it start with I could give this place a 0? I would.
No, but it might as well. It's from Marcos G, who traveled all the way to Chicago from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's only made one review ever.
Uh-oh.
And this is it. Of the bracket room, Chris Bukowski's bar in Chicago.
Okay.
All caps, never come here. And if you do, please get me out of here because I'm still waiting for my check.
Oh, that's funny.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That's funny, Marcos. Top 3 worst places I've ever been to. I really wish you would have elaborated on the other 2.
Absolutely.
The service is like going through a prostate exam.
Oh.
The all caps worst. Death by lack of service. I had to eat without silverware. Like a beast.
Marcos.
That's Marcos's 1-star rating.
Wait, that's it?
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Wow.
That is very, although a loud ending, anticlimactic.
Let me say this, Nick. If you could, indulge the audience, there has to be some other reviews on this page. Let me say this. This is how you give a review where you actually hurt the business. It's got to be deep, very detailed, and like be more specific. I understand the wait staff was a little late on bringing out your entree,
Yes.
or your check, but we could say that the waitress had a bad night because she slept, maybe had a fight with her boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
We can't blame the entire establishment on that. If there is, Nick, I'd like to hear a full, a more thorough review of this establishment.
I'm not going to read a more thorough review of this establishment, but there are many that are essentially reiterating Marcos G's
They're all
sentiments.
being held hostage because they haven't paid their checks?
Yeah, and they're still there. No, a lot of wait staff being inattentive. A lot of people. No, I will read a longer one.
No, don't do that. We got to move on. All right. So, where the fuck were we? Let's get to Bibiana, who begins weeping at some point, as she does every time she's on this show. I feel bad for her, and I don't really understand why she can't, I don't know, extend her stays. I think I have a theory, not a hot take by any stretch of the imagination, but...
She's got a boyfriend back home.
Well, that's hot tea.
That's hot tea.
Oh, I thought that was going to be your hot take.
No, I was going to say she's beautiful. She's not a psycho, at least not on the outside. She's not insane. I think that she's getting older, and I'm not saying that she's old, don't at me, but she's like 31, 32. This is the kind of age where these existential things start to give you anxiety. Like
what's the point of all this?
My career's not getting off. I'm not really employable. I keep coming down here. I never find anybody. This is a waste of time. And I feel like that kind of strangles her ability to mingle on the show. I think she's just riddled with anxiety about what the fuck she's doing there.
I'm going to say I think you nailed it. I think she showed up here, hammered a check, and she's like, oh, I guess the camera's I'll say some funny stuff and I'll get to be here for a couple weeks. And then the hard truth is like, no, you're aging out, sweetie. A bunch of people are more interesting than you, and you're sitting at a bar. You're a fucking gargoyle, essentially.
Oh, whoa! I've never heard that before.
No, that's an old bag that like holds up the bar, like just sitting there sipping on some vodka or whatever.
I love that.
Yeah. It's really sad, and that's what she is essentially here. It's like
gargoyle.
No, this is your time to go. Now go home. Yeah. Now make a real life out of it. Your time in the sun, your time in, I guess, in Bachelor Nation, unless you kill somebody or something, I don't know. You're done. Yeah. This is it. This is your final curtain, baby.
I would advise her not to kill anyone. Chris Soules has not gained any fame, only a kind of a jail sentence, actually.
Yeah, and one could argue infamy.
Anyway, yeah, Bibiana, see you later. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the episode where she gets sent home, but I'm very confident that she will be going home.
You know, speaking of people who need a curtain call, we talked about it earlier, Wills. Now, Wills is pathetic, has really no game, and is terrible at strategy. Why are you not going after Christina here? Like, why are you going after Hannah? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, because he kissed her earlier, so that would make sense. He thinks he has a connection.
Yeah, but he should know that he doesn't. And even if he does have a connection with her, go after somebody else. Like, just spread your net a little bit. Christina's going after fucking Chris. You can beat Chris, dude. Come on.
That's true. Although he may think he's not good enough for her. By the way, is this a time to point out that when he does go after Hannah G, Wills does, she says, I don't want to waste a rose on you, so beat it, loser.
She also says that love is the one thing in the world that you can't force. I think there are a few other things you can't force. I could think of a few other things you can't force.
The Force?
You can't force the Force. I mean, that just takes time. Or you're born with it just midichlorians just like coursing through your veins like Skywalker.
I wish he never brought midichlorians into that franchise.
Yeah, so does everybody. All right, so Blake decides that he's going to go after Hannah because he feels like there's something, quote, incredible between the two of them. He goes up to the bar and he completely just alphas the fuck out of Dylan. I feel bad for Dylan because it isn't beneath Hannah to ditch him for the most hated person on the island. Mm-hmm. But I'm confused. We have to wait to see next week what's going to happen. But I'm just confused about where she is at the end of this. Let's play a clip and kind of start off his word vomit.
Since I got down here, like, I've done everything wrong. Like, that stops now.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
No, it doesn't. Because he proceeds to like Stockholm syndrome her. It's this crazy, like he's planting this shit in her head. He's like, I know there's something between us and I know that you feel that, but you have your walls up and I can't blame you for that. I can't. Hey, What are you can't just speak this shit into existence, you fucking nut.
This was the first time I actually I was like, oh, this is what they're falling for. This is like the sweet talk they're all seeing. Like, he actually seemed pretty smooth and very manipulative here. I was kind of impressed.
Yeah.
He finds solace in another connection. We saw him all broken up. He was destroyed, right? And the only way to get over that is to get another girl to be into you.
Right.
And I believe I have a clip of his excitement for Hannah after this exchange. I'm sorry, Dill, were you going to say
No,
that?
yeah, I mean, before you get to that, I just want to cover this unbelievably atrocious lie that he tells her. He says that you're the reason I'm here, which, this is why I'm confused, because I don't know if Hannah's a soft enough target for this to work. I agree with you. He's attempting to be manipulative, but everything is so bullshit laden that I don't know if it actually is manipulation. This is like classic Luke P stuff where technically it's manipulation, but you're too stupid to pull it off. You have no tact whatsoever. Him saying you're the reason I came here, I think she can just tell that's a lie from the get-go. He takes Tayshia first the second he gets to the island.
He could have grabbed her first.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he just takes Tayshia on the first date. If he was really there for her, why would he do that?
I think this is proof that Hannah is a soft target, because that should have been her response immediately.
Right.
Then why did you take Tayshia on a date?
Right.
So clearly she is low-hanging fruit. She fell for Colton. She fell for Dylan for a little, although that's survival tactics, but she fell for Blake. She's dumb. She's easy.
Yeah.
She's wood.
Now you guys are... Oh, is she there right now?
Pat, it's okay.
We got it.
It's okay.
She spoke her truth.
All right. While you guys talk about Hannah G, I have to bounce back to Blake. I think he enjoys destroying Dylan. I think he gets off on it.
I don't think that he cares. Yeah, I don't know that he necessarily gets off on it. I mean, he may very well.
Sex addicts destroy relationships, Dylan.
I think he's pretty beat up about his mom cheating on his dad with the janitor and or gym teacher.
In a broom closet.
He wants every man to feel the pain he did as a little boy.
Yeah.
And he sees Dylan as a target who he can just destroy and crumble, and see him in tears like he was once in tears.
Well, he may very well be that crazy because, they smooch. I still think that she's currently repulsed by him, but I think that she is a soft target, so she may turn around. But after this moment, his heart is filled to a concerning degree. Pat, hit us with this clip.
Wow, that kiss was great. And I love the way she's so cute when she's happy, or when she does this and she goes like this.
What you just did with her does not justify that kind of giddiness. It's manufactured. It's really creepy, and it's just so off-putting. I mean, this guy is so unlikable.
I remember when you were rooting for him to be the Bachelor, by the way.
Never was.
Was it you, Nick?
Definitely not. No, I think it was you. I think it was you.
Absolutely not. I said I don't want Blake because he's going to be so goddamn fucking boring. I want Colton because he's a golden retriever and he's stupid. Now, I was wrong about that. But I never wanted squarehead Blake.
Who did I want? I don't know.
Who cares? The end of the evening is Hannah talking to Dylan. She tells him that they kiss. She has the same weird, I can't look at you. I can't look at you. What she does when she's talking about wills. And they have a similar interaction. I mean, they pull in on his face when she tells him that. And wrong meeting him, but you guys have seen it. His face is doing these weird convulsing things, and he's biting his lip, and he's just so awkward and so fucking pathetic.
A lot of this weird facial expression stuff tonight. I was seeing some places on the social medias, people were suspecting some booger sugar. He was doing a little cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
I think Blake's too much of a pussy for cocaine, but you said, Dylan, maybe it's Adderall. And I really like that theory. That's a nice hot take. That's a hot sizzling take.
Well, and Pat, kind of further enhanced that theory. If you're day drinking all day, you have got to have a little bit of Adderall on you.
Something.
I mean, not just if you're going to do it, like us, we don't need Adderall to day drink, but if you're going to continuously do it, I mean, there's no way your body's going to handle that after 2-3 days. I mean, you're going to break down. You need a little bit of speed.
Amphetamine.
So is there anything else, or can we end the episode?
Well, let's end it. I mean, there's no rose ceremony.
Nope.
I guess, wow. How many weeks do we got of this? I'm excited. 17. Okay, I'm excited.
I hope it's 4 total. I think it's 4 total.
Yeah. So that's the end. We'll be back next week for the rose ceremony. I mean, the suspense is just killing me. I can't believe we have to wait till Monday.
You seem to be saying that in jest. I actually am really excited. I want to see how this rose ceremony. I feel like there's going to be a switcheroo. It seems like Annaliese safe. I bet Annaliese goes home.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
She was almost bragging to Bibiana, who was crying, and
she's like, "I just found somebody. I just got lucky."
Chris Bukowski, that's my call. He's going to pull the old switcheroo, give his rose to Bibiana.
That would be super funny, and I would also like to see Cam offer Kaylin a rose and then have her refuse it, and then he offers Jane a rose and then she refuses it, and they both voluntarily go home rather than be with Cam. That's what I would like to see, but who knows? I think yours is a little bit more realistic.
I don't think yours is that lofty.
All right, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. 5 stars, please. If you can't leave words, just hit 5 stars and walk away. Join us on Facebook, the Baby Birdies. You guys have been absolutely incredible with this season. I mean, there's so much tea to spill, and you guys have been spilling all of it like a bull in a china shop. You guys are wonderful. So join us there, facebook.com, search Another Bachelor Podcast, and join up. Follow me on social, Dylan Pete Wren, Nick on social, Real Nicholas Davis, Patrick, wherever he is, Patrick Dude Show, or Patrick 500. That's the end of the evening. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye.